Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Truth, where today we're going to react to college football for week 4 and the ever so confusing of the rankings of college football for going into next week. So, first game we have UAB versus Georgia. My thing with the Georgia game is the fact that it was a one-possession game going into the second half. How many of these Georgia games are we going to have to where it's disappointing how Georgia isn't putting the team away for the entire 4 quarters? Look, guys, it's UAB. UAB should not score 21 points on number 1 Georgia. They shouldn't. But until someone beats them, until an SEC team beats them, or someone else beats them, they're number 1. Rutgers versus Michigan, but we all thought Michigan would beat Rutgers. This is one of the games where I said it could be interesting. Well, not this year. I was wrong on that. I'll take that one. I assumed from last week that this Baylor game was going to be more interesting. It wasn't. But Texas dominates against. Texas has a dominating win against Baylor, proving to the country why they're still number 3. Florida sneaks a quick one. Sorry, guys. My words are getting confused a lot. Florida State sneaks a squeaker game against Clemson, which is the second squeaker game in a row. It's not concerning because it's Florida State, but are they going to slip up and let one get them is my question. USC versus Arizona State. I mean, look, it's USC and Arizona State, kind of what we expected. This game. This game. Notre Dame loses by 3 points to Ohio State. I'm going to be honest. Notre Dame should have won this game. Notre Dame should have won this game, but they fumbled the bag. So I don't know how I feel about Ohio State. I know how I feel about Notre Dame. I feel pretty confident about Notre Dame. I don't know how I feel about Ohio State. Because let's say this was LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan. I don't know what it looks like, the score. I think it's a way different score. Way different score. Number 7 Penn State dominates against literal blowout against Ohio, which is what you want from a number 7 team. So props to them. Washington against Cali. The touchdowns are a little high, but the offense, I like it. I know Michael Penix Jr. is kind of going off. That one interception, I want to see how he threw that or what happened with that. But having that, I think is really good for them. Oregon versus Colorado. Okay, so we really got to see who Colorado was last week. I think Colorado's a team who should still be in the top 25, but more in the later end. They're not able to compete with these top schools. I don't know about top 15, but they're not going to be able to compete with the top 10 schools in the nation. And that's where it is. You're like, Oregon's going to have to do some recruiting next year, and then they're going to have to bring some people in from the transfer portal. I think they have potential. I think so, too. I think they really do. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at quarterback next year. But, it's not bad. 3-1. Colorado fans should not be disappointed. Colorado fans should not be saying, "Oh, the season's over." You're 3-1. Now, will you make the playoffs? Probably not. Will you make a bowl game? A good bowl game? Probably. I mean, I don't see if you're not ESPN, if you're not, a big sports covering channel or a big sports covering, I guess you say channel or TV channel, why you wouldn't want the Colorado game. They're exciting, So I think it's a really good standard saying, look, whenever they finish their season, I think they'll finish their season with a couple losses, at most a couple losses. I think it's good to say from Dion going into that next year saying, look, this is the standard. this is the standard of where this was the standard of last year. We need to be better than this. I should say that. This was the standard. We need to be better at it, better than it. And I think that's a good starting point to rebuild this Colorado team. Utah versus UCLA. See, this is what it gets. Utah's undefeated, but they scored 2 touchdowns in the first half and then just didn't score. And that's what gets me. It's like Utah. I've already seen in the rankings. Utah moves up, but it's just like Utah's one of those teams where it's like I don't know how confident I am. UCLA almost beat UCLA. Literally, if they score another touchdown, they tie the game. I don't know how confident I feel about Utah going into the rest of the season now after that UCLA game. We'll see. Arkansas versus LSU. This was a game I said this was going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game for Arkansas versus LSU. Arkansas is a good 2-2 was very deceiving. Arkansas is a very good football team. I like what Arkansas is doing. I like how they have an older they have an older group of starters. Arkansas can score. Now, what worked out for Arkansas was LSU played bad this game. Their defense played terrible. Their offense sluggish the first half. Sluggish the first half up until, I want to say, that last drive. That last drive in the first half. Offense was sluggish. After that, they turned it on. They scored, I think, I know. After that touchdown, they scored 2 more touchdowns, a field goal, and then another touchdown. I mean, look, Jaden Daniels did not look good. Like, if we're looking at this game in perspective, LSU had so many missed opportunities, it should have been a game. But they just played bad. And that's where here's my thing. We're going to look at this Bama game. Bama had a good game, and they only beat Ole Miss by 14. And that's just like, where do we place this? Because I won't lie, Bama jumps LSU this weekend. Sorry, guys. I don't know why this happens. Bama jumps LSU this weekend. After the two games we look at, do we really think Bama's better than LSU? I don't think so. Look, the only loss LSU's had is to FSU's number 4 in the nation right now. I know they've had a couple close games, but FSU fourth in the nation. Bama isn't convincing yet. I'm not saying they can't be. They're just not convincing yet. And that's what really gets me is I necessarily where do we place Ole Miss? Where do we place Bama? Where do we place LSU? There are a lot of good SEC football teams who are ranked this year. It's just where I don't know where you'd place them. And we'll get into more of the rankings. I don't want to spoil too much about my reactions to it. I believe this was the only upset of the week, if I'm not wrong. And we'll get into. Oh, actually, no. I'll save the matchups for Tuesday. The college football matchups for Tuesday. So that should be tomorrow, which should be uploaded Wednesday, technically tomorrow night, which will probably be saw Wednesday. It'll make more sense once I explain it tomorrow. I'll explain it tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure this was the only upset this week. Washington upset Oregon State by 3 points. 2 Pac-12 teams. You like to see a great game, great high-scoring game. Oregon State was making a comeback. Oregon State was getting beat. Let that not be known. Oregon State was getting beat, and they make a great comeback. 21-3. Oh, sorry, just 21 points. But I think Oregon State should get moved up more than just a 3-point win should get them because they played so well against the number 14 team. If we threw the fourth quarter out, Oregon State dominates. So I mean, I feel like they deserve to be moved up a couple spots, or at least they put a good game. Oklahoma beats Cincinnati 20-6. Not bad. Number 16 team, you like to see a couple more points put on the board, but I mean, look, a 2-touchdown win against a Big 12 for a Big 12 team against another Big 12 a newer Big 12 team. That's pretty good. North Carolina versus Pittsburgh, another dominating win. Duke versus UConn. Yeah, this is what you expect. This is what you expect. A 41-7 win. A ranked team versus an unranked team who hasn't won a game yet. That's what you expect. And then basically the same thing for Miami. This is what you expect against Temple. Like, you expect a beatdown. Tennessee really beats UTSA, and then Florida beats Charlotte. Look, these are what we expect. Two SEC teams to do what SEC teams do. Let's get on to the rankings. And this week, I actually might compare. Just to get some points across. And just remember, coaches polls are on your right. AP polls are on your top 25 AP polls are on your left. Georgia at number 1, I definitely agree with. Michigan at number 2 on both things I agree with. Texas at number 3, I can see. Ohio State at 3, I don't think Ohio State should be at 3. Because in reality, they should have lost to Notre Dame. I don't know because if we look at both lists, we can take a peek. Notre Dame's at 11, Notre Dame's at 13. I don't think Ohio State should be in the top 10. I don't. I mean, they've had a couple games where it's just like, ugh. So I don't think Ohio State should be at number 3. Like, they're one of those teams that I won't say it's too early to say, but whenever they play Michigan, they might get the snot beat out. Now, does Ohio State have great weapons? Do they have lots of potential? Of course. But they're just not putting it together. And that's why they're one of my teams to watch for a potential fraud. I'm not saying they are a fraud. I'm not saying they're terrible. All I'm saying is watch out for Ohio State. They might not be as good as we think they are. But they could surprise me. I'm open to that. All right, Ohio State, Florida at 4, and then Florida at 5. I think Florida should be over Ohio State. I think Florida should be at 4. Like, Florida proved to me, like, if we put those two games together, if we watch both games, I like Florida's game. I like Florida over Clemson. I like them at number 4. I don't mind that. I like Texas at number 3. You might have that one close game, but you can throw that out the window. It was one close game. Penn State at 6, and then USC at 6. I agree with more of the coach polls on this. I think USC makes more sense to be at 6. I feel like bring Ohio State down, have USC at 5, which makes sense. And then, like, I don't get how USC fell. I really don't. That doesn't make sense to me. But I know it's going off of points and stuff. Like, some go off points and then other things. But it makes more sense that USC, like, let's be honest. If we were to put money on the game, who do you think would win, Ohio State or USC? I think a lot of people would pick Caleb Williams and USC. Penn State. I like Penn State. I like what they're doing. I want to see more from them, though. I want to really see them go against a tough, like, top 15 team, and then I'll be confident in saying. But I like the direction they're going. Washington, same thing. I love the direction that they're going. I like the direction they're going even more. I think that comes with an experience. Can't wait to see what they're gonna keep doing. And then for both teams, for both polls, we have Oregon at 9. I'm not mad at that at all. I like Oregon. Oregon just keeps needing to produce. Look, I've always known Oregon as a team with all the resources who hasn't put it together. We'll see what happens. Utah, I don't mind at 10. Notre Dame, I've already said my things at Notre Dame are 11 or 13. I think they should be higher. I liked what Notre Dame did. Like, if I'm being all honest, right now, I'm more confident with. I don't know. I'll say that. I'd probably have Notre Dame behind LSU and Bama for the AP polls. I get they're 4-1, and that's why you might have them is because they have that extra win. But if we're being all honesty, I don't. I definitely know Notre Dame won't be LSU. I don't think Notre Dame will be Alabama. Maybe they'll surprise with that one, but I doubt it. I really do doubt it. That's where I standpoint. Alabama over LSU. It's kind of one of those things where it's just like if we looked over the seasons and if we looked at the losses, we looked at the games. I feel like we'd probably say, in my personal opinion, LSU is playing better than Bama. Now, you can state your opinions in the comments section after I upload this video, but my personal opinion, LSU's been playing better against Bama. I like LSU's receivers over Bama. I like LSU's running backs over Bama. I like LSU's offense over Bama. Now the defense, okay, you can make a point there, but I like that LSU offense, more than I like that Bama's offense. I feel like Bama's offense would struggle more against LSU's defense than LSU's offense against Bama's defense, if that makes any sense. Oklahoma at 14. Would I have them over North Carolina? Oh yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that for now. Washington State at 16, and then Duke. Duke's been having some great games, but I feel like they're gonna drop a loss. Because I'm gonna spoil this. I'm pretty sure Notre Dame plays Duke this week. Yeah, I think Duke's gonna drop this game. I'm gonna be honest. That's my personal prediction. I know I don't call predictions, but it's just like how we've seen Duke with who they play, and with how we've seen Notre Dame with who they play. I like Notre Dame in this. So I'd probably agree more with the coaches poll than the top 25 poll. And then Miami at 18. I guess if you want to give that over Tennessee and Ole Miss saying, well, Miami's undefeated, sure. Oregon State's ranked really high. And we're saying that over Ole Miss and Tennessee and potentially Florida. That's where I kind of step in and say, yeah, I think that's a little too far. I don't think Oregon State's that good over Ole Miss and Tennessee. I don't think they're better than Ole Miss and Tennessee. Now, against Florida, you can make an argument. But I feel like Ole Miss and Tennessee need to be ranked above them. I agree with the coaches poll on this one. I felt like this week I'm really agreeing with the coaches poll. Missouri, who's not ranked above Florida. Give me Florida because I don't think Missouri does as well throughout the season. And then Kansas, who's undefeated and ranked. Fresno State, who's undefeated. And this part, I would agree with the top 25 over Kansas State. Because Fresno State's undefeated, I think they get that nod to be put in there. And then Kansas State will wait on that. Because they could be in the top 25. But I feel like Fresno State should get that nod because they are undefeated. Yeah, let me know how y'all feel about these rankings. I feel like, especially in the NFL, there's a lot more parity this year, and I love that. A lot of games are a lot closer. It's good. It's fun to watch. There are a lot more exciting college football games. So tell me what y'all think. Tomorrow I'll upload a reaction to the NFL and an overview of next week's schedule and how it's going to look and who teams are going to play who. So thank you all for watching. Please give me your thoughts on the scores and how y'all think that should affect the rankings and who you think should be where. I'd love to read about it. I'd love to interact with y'all. Thanks for all for watching. Tell me what I can do better or what you like. Tell me if you like comparing the top 25 in coaches poll, or do you mainly want me to focus on one? overall, thanks for watching. Hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day.